Okay, hey everyone, this is Amy with Pretty Presets, and we're gonna do like a bunch of little videos here tonight to show you a different way of looking at things and just, kind of how things work on this side of things. We're going to be taking pictures of Alexa over here. Look, there's Alexa. My son, Jack, is holding the camera that you've got that is looking at me right now. And then my daughter Bella is over there holding another camera to help out tonight. And so we're gonna just kind of hang out for a little while until we lose the light that we need. And so we're gonna go over just a couple little things right now. So Alexa, right now, she's about 9 feet away from me. And the reason that is the distance from her to me is because I have my 85 lens on my camera right now. So with this lens on my camera and the distance that she is away from me, I'm going to be able to get a good frame of shooting this way. I could get more in of her. I would be able to get vertically, I'd be able to get from the top of her head down to midway between her knees and her feet, but I'm going to shoot her horizontally this way. And so that's why I'm about 9 feet away right now. So if I scoot back more and more, I'm going to be able to get, still be able to have her in focus. If I go up too much, if I go up this much, this is what I want you to do. I want you to put one hand on your hip, and then I want you to take your other hand and you're going to pass like this. Perfect. Stay looking right at me. I am going to go like this. Take some gorgeous shots of Alexa. Now, Jack, come over here, please. So right now, I'm only about maybe 4 feet away from her. And come right next to me, Jack. These are the settings that I used with her just now. And this is the photo that I just got with her. And so let's see how sharp that was with her about 4. Well, she's brushed her teeth today. There's nothing stuck in the gums. And her eyes are absolutely gorgeous. Totally in focus, totally sharp. So you can see that we don't have to be like right up close and we don't have to be far away. If I'm going to go further away, it's because I want to get more of her in the picture. A lot of times when I'm shooting seniors, all I really want is a gorgeous, this is what the actual photo looks like. So we've got her right here in the frame, who looks absolutely gorgeous. And then you can see how we've got this great bokeh right here. She is actually, she's in this arch and she's got a lot of greenery behind her. So it's going to be really easy to get that bokeh because she's got it everywhere. She's surrounded by it right now. I'm going to have you put your one hand up here like this. Exactly. Stay just like that. Look right here at me. Don't move. Perfect. Okay, stay like that. And I'm going to change my aperture now. And I had it on 2.5. I'm going to go down to 2.0. And you'll notice when I'm shooting that I hold my, I have a grip on my camera right here, which has 2 batteries, and I love it because it makes it a whole lot easier to hold my camera. And I do shoot back button focus, so what I do is with my camera, how it's set up is I press this button here first, and that locks in the focus. So I press this button, and I'm aiming it for her eyes because we're about the same height. So I press this button, it locks in focus on her eyes, and then I let go of it, and then I press the button, the shutter release button up here in the front. And it's really, I read a lot of people having problems with back button focus, and I have to wonder if maybe you have it on the wrong setting in order to do back button focus. If it's on the right setting, it's pretty easy to get the hang of. It's just a lot of this back and forth. So I'll usually go around holding my camera like this so that I'm ready to lock focus on something and then shoot. It's just a matter of getting used to doing this instead of this 2 times. So I've got it, like I said, I just lowered my aperture to 2.0. And I always tuck my hands in and get it nice and focused. And there's the photo of that. And we're going to see how well we did there. Again, right there. That's exactly what we want. We want those nice, perfect, sharp eyes. And I haven't moved any further away. The only thing that I did there was I increased how wide open I was shooting. So if I'm going to step back and I'm not going to change anything. So I just step back maybe 2.5 feet. And so stay just like that, Alexa. Now I'm going to have more of her body in the image. And since I've stepped back more, I'm going to have to recompose. Since I want to stay horizontal, when I was up close, I was able to just have the top part of her in focus. And now what I want to be able to do is to have, this will get actually all the way to the bottom of her sweater in focus. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to press my back button focus button, and I'm going to aim it at her eyes, and then I'm going to lower it just a little bit, so that's recomposing, and then I'm going to take the button, I'm going to then take the shot. And so my kids are trying not to laugh at me at every little mistake I make here. So I'm going to do that, recompose. Good. Okay, Jack, come here. So that's what the photo looks like now. So you can see that Alexa still looks gorgeous, but now notice that we don't have quite as much bokeh in there. And let's see if we're still nice and sharp. We are. We're still pretty sharp, and I'm still shooting at 2.0. So the reason I think why that's working so well is because we aren't competing with the sun right here. We've got perfect, gorgeous lighting right here, and my settings are spot on. So that makes a huge difference. That's why we try to emphasize so much about getting it right in camera, because that's where it all starts. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually change lenses, and I'm going to put my 50 on just so you can see the difference between shooting with my 85 and shooting with the 50. Okay, gotta dust it off. I don't use this one very often. Okay, I'm gonna go up closer now to Alexa. So this time what I want you to do is just kind of put your thumbs in your pocket, and I want you just to kind of stick out your hip a little bit. There we go. See, I'm really not used to doing this. I'm used to being this close and having her face right in front of me. So I'm going to actually get a little bit closer to her. And she is right there. Perfect. I'm going to come and actually scoot a little bit further back. Okay, good. Come here, Jack. Now notice, I'm not spot on there. I haven't used my 50 in a little while, and I am going to do that one again. It's important to understand that, like, not everyone gets it right. The first time, I think this first one was better. Yeah, that one was better. So let's try that. Okay, that looks better. So there's a huge difference, because now with my 50 on, so that's what the shot looked like in camera, and that's with the 50. And right now I'm only about maybe 3.5 feet away from her. So if I were to, let's see what happens if I get up closer to her. Because you can do that with the 50. You can get up super close, and I want you to kind of put one hand up here like that. Lay out your fingers like this. Or actually, you know what? Instead of doing that, kind of put them through your hair like this for me. Perfect. Good. Come here, Jack. So right now, I'm only like 2 feet away from her. And so I feel like I'm kind of like in her face. That's one of the reasons why I like the 85 so much, because you can actually stand back a little bit. But this is her with the 85, or with the 50, and being so close to her. So if I were to step back and do the same thing, oh, the other thing I wanted to point out is that the bokeh is better in the 85 as well, because notice that we don't have quite the same bokeh right here. So, and I love that bokeh. So I'm going to step back a little bit, say just like that. Okay, come here, Jack. So further back, I'm like this, and I am just like maybe 7 feet away from her, and that's what it looks like with the 50 on. So huge difference with this lens on. She is still in focus, and she's sharp. You can see those eyes and how gorgeous she looks there. But it's a totally different picture than when we were using the 85. It was like that. So anyways, so that's a little bit about depth of field. You can go ahead and put your arm down if you want so it doesn't fall asleep. When we're talking about depth of field, what you need to understand is that when you are this close to somebody, they're going to be in focus, and what's behind them is going to be out of focus. That's going to have that, it's that bokeh that we want to have. So, and that's what I like to have. I like to have her in focus, everything else out of focus, okay? Because we're focusing on her. I do mostly portraits, so, you know, of course, this is going to be a whole different thing if you're doing landscape or whatever. But if you're doing portraits, this is kind of a general thing. For our depth of field, we want to be close. We want to have her nice and in focus and gorgeous and pretty and sharp. But when we come back and we go further out, then that kind of like, it opens things up more and more. So more and more behind her is going to come in focus. So remember that if you're up close, there isn't a formula that I sit here and go by. There, you know, I know that there are depth of field calculators and things like that. I've actually never, I've looked them up before when I was first starting photography, but when you are in the middle of a session, you know, if I were doing a senior session here, we're go. I don't have time to look up a depth of field calculator and figure out where I'm supposed to stand according to which lens I'm using and how far away my person is. That just isn't going to happen. So the best thing that you can do to learn how to understand depth of field is understanding that the closer you are to the person, you can still, I mean, I just showed you, I can get a sharp image whether I'm close to her or whether I'm further back from her. That doesn't matter. Depth of field is more about the depth that you're creating depending on how close you are or how far away you are. So that's what you need to remember. It's not a hard concept, and if you are trying to tell if your person is in focus or not, check your camera. Check your viewfinder, check your screen. Every time I do a setup with the senior, I am constantly making sure that what I've just done is sharp and is in focus, because the only way that I have to tell that is by looking. I sit there and I magnify it and I go, okay, great, we've got perfect sharp eyes and we're ready to go, and we're ready to rock and roll this, this part of the session. Now when I move her over to somewhere else, I'm going to change my settings, and I'm going to take a couple pictures. I'm going to make sure my settings are right. I'm going to make sure that I've got her in focus. I'm going to make sure that everything is great so that I can just sit there and take my pictures and not have to constantly worry about my settings. And then I'm going to do the same thing every time I move different areas. When I'm doing a session, we tend to move a lot. So if we're in the same area, same lighting, and my camera is pointing the same direction towards the sun, then I'm going to use the same settings. I don't have to change the settings at all. If I've got the sun right over here, then I'm going to have one set of settings. But if I've got the sun now over here and I'm shooting, my settings have to change. So I hope that helps you understand more about depth of field and gives you a little bit of information as far as, you know, helping to get some sharper images. So anyways, thanks, and go out and create something pretty. Bye.